big guy. How y'all doing? This Anthony Zamora. It's part two of my story. Real quick, if you guys are out there listening to this, I just want y'all to know that no way am I trying to promote or praise, the horrible things that I've done in my past. I'm telling these stories so, you can kind of see this lifestyle, it looks good and glamorous at first glance, but once you pull back the curtains a little bit, you really pay attention to what's going on. You see how ugly the game really is, how indispensable we really are, and until you start making, decisions for your own self as a man. So, let me go ahead and take off from here. I believe where I left off last, I was I think in Calipat, B yard, and from there, I believe I was talking about that big guy that I did right there in the shower right before I went out to visit. Well, basically from there, that's where it really took off because that's when I really started putting in work for the cause and things like that. So, real brief though, from there, I ended up going out to court on the open case that I had, and I ended up picking up a battery on one of my cellies on the way back from court back to Calipat, and I pretty much spent the next 2 years of my time that I had left in ASU right there. And basically from there, once I did my shoe term, they transferred me to High Desert State Prison, and I landed on C yard right there. And I believe I was there maybe 8 months, and from there I paroled. So when I got out this time, mind you, it's my second term, you know what I mean? And I'm doing a lot more things for the homies now.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Yeah, I remember going home with a bunch of hot wheelers and stuff for different big homies, for people. And, I was supposed to get these messages out for these dudes when I touched down. So, I ended up paroling from High Desert. I got a gate pickup, and my family was staying out there in High Desert area. Victorville, Speria area out there, and it's around 2009. And real quick before I get started, let me just give a real quick shout out to my wife, Ecstasy Zamora, my beautiful, gorgeous wife, who I love with all my heart. That's the first time I ever met her, so just so you know, baby, But I'm out there now. It's 2009. I'm fresh out. And I'm staying out there trying to stay out the way. I just paroled, and I'm staying out here in the Spirit with my family. Well, while I'm out there, I'm going back and forth to my body to Norwalk and back to the Spirit, because I am on parole out there. So I'm actually using a parole address out there in Norwalk, one of my cousins. So I just have to go down there every month and check in on my PO and whatnot. But while I was out there in the Spirit, I ended up bumping into a bunch of my homies that were living out there at the time. And so I was out there chilling with my homies, not doing nothing right, what I'm supposed to be doing, working, anything I'm supposed to be doing. And I am checking in with parole and all that, but I'm not on the run yet. But basically, I'm out there running amok. And tell you a little story about how I started getting plugged in, with the Mexican mafia a little bit. One day, I don't know if you guys heard about it, but I remember when my homeboy got shot, they were looking for my homeboy. They had a price on his head and some other bicycle that was slinging dope in my area at the time. And they had to do this big ass junta in Orange County. I remember it was in Epsu's barrio, and I pulled up with the homies. We all show up, and my big homie. When I say big homie, this is a made Mexican mafia member, So he's there, and it's his junta, So he's out there. The reason why he's out there is because these dudes are known to be out there in Orange County. So what I'm saying? He's letting all these barrios know in Orange County that these dudes got a price on their head. I'm gonna leave the names out, but yeah, they're looking for this particular dude, excuse me. I just remember being at that junta, and afterwards, everything was done. All my homies stayed in the garage where we were at, and it's the first time I got introduced to my big homie from my barrio. And yeah, well, from there, I didn't directly like get any specific instructions from him, but after that junta, basically I talked to the right hand man, and well, I guess there was a lot of people out there in the area where I was staying at weren't paying taxes, and they're out there selling big dope. So he had a couple spots that he had lined up for us to go over there and talk to these people and see if at first, they want to work with us and start paying rent. You know what I mean? And if they didn't want to cooperate.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
They're basically free game to Jack, we could route them. So I remember this one particular spot. All these bicycles that live by these train tracks out there, and there's some in Big Crack, I forgot what else they had, but we knew that they were selling big dope right there, so they weren't trying to kick in. So basically they're gonna get got, and it's supposed to be a easy in and out, robbery, gonna go in there, lay them down, and take the and bounce, and well, turns out that got a little more interesting this day because we show up. First of all, I'm already tripping because my homie brought one of the little homies that I don't even know with us to do this holiday, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not used to doing things like this with people I don't know or trust, So, my mind was on this dude, and plus he was acting hella sketchy. So, I don't know if it was me tripping on him to where my mind wasn't straight and set on what I was supposed to be doing and paying attention to at the time. But, yeah, the dude was getting paranoid, So I had to keep my eye on him and make sure all he was supposed to do was stand outside the house and, crowd control, make sure nobody comes in or out, And, me and the homie gonna go in there and do our thing. So we go, old boy stays outside, we go in, and, everything's going smooth at first. We go in there, lay it down. It's only 2 or 3 people in there at the time, and there's no issues, but, usually I go in and check all the doors, make sure there's nobody else in the house, you know what I'm saying? So no one gets hurt. And I don't know, like I said, I was so focused on little homie, tripping on him that, I fucked up, and I guess I missed one of the doors. And while we were in there laying them down, dude ends up coming out, fucking got a chopper, bro. Like, we in there with some, we got guns too, but we got these little handguns. This will come out with a chopper, and start spraying up the living room. Well, basically, I ended up getting shot this day. Thank God I only got hit in my leg, but yeah, it went all bad from there. Dude came out and, did what we had to do. I ended up getting hit one time and took off. We did come up on everything, it was successful and all that, but yeah, I couldn't stop the bleeding on my leg, so I tried to thug it out at first, that shit wouldn't stop. So eventually, I ended up having the homies drop me off at the hospital. So from there, I remember while I was in there, I was tripping because I'm on parole, mind you. I got an ankle monitor. I'm on parole, and I'm shot. So these dudes, they're for sure calling the police. Like, I'm waiting for them to come in any moment. I was trying to get treated and bounce out of there before they came, but it was too late. It seemed like they were there within minutes. So, yeah, basically, I ended up going to jail that day and I got shot. You know what I mean? So that just goes to show you that, they don't even know what happened. They just know I got shot and I was involved in some kind of gang-related incident. So they took me in, and I ended up getting a parole violation from that. So from there, it's 2009. Remember, I ended up hitting West Valley, and from there, the next day or the day after that, they ended up this is back when we used to do our parole violations in Chino State Prison, and that was the first time going to Chino. So I remember I ended up pulling up to Chino, and I get there and I land in Cypress. Yeah, I landed in Cypress first, and then, no, not Cypress, my bad. I landed on Sycamore, and then from there I ended up going on a little 2-on-1. Some dude had to go, so I ended up going to the hole. Now I'm in Palm Hall, Eastside 5 months. Back then, I used to be like headquarters.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Now I'm in Palm Hall, and while I'm there, trip out, I end up bumping into the homie Sluggo from Metro. He's rest in peace now, but I remember the OG was he was there at that junta that night when I had met my big homie. So he recognized me on the yard when we were in the cages. So I start getting that at Sluggo, right? And basically I'm just waiting to get kicked out. I think they gave me like a 3-month shoot for that. So I only had to do like half of it. So I was gonna be out of there in about a month and a half, 2 months the most. So homeboy ended up giving me old boy that I'm talking about, he wasn't the main man, but he was mobbed up. He had a lot of juice with the big homies, and at the time he had the. I'm right there in Palm Hall at the time, and like I was saying, I bumped into the homie, the OG homie Sluggo, and he's asking me if I could help him out, and basically they needed somebody on East Yard to take over the yard because whoever they had right there from the last mess was, he wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing or producing any money. So, homeboy knew me. I guess he took a liking to me, and he put me on. He gave me my DLs for my first prison yard. Mind you, at the time I'm only 24, 25 years old, and I basically know the ins and outs. You know what I'm saying? And I've had little dorms and spots in Allen County Jail, shit like that, but like never an actual yard. Where I was gonna be in charge of everything that goes on. So, I was a little excited about it. You know what I mean? And so they ended up kicking me out. I think my whole time they kicked me out, and I land right there on East Yard. And I remember having to approach one of the homies, well, basically the llavero at the time, the dude that they want me to step down. I have to go and tell this man, that he's being stepped down and whatnot, and I'm taking over, basically, new management, So I don't know, it's a little weird for me, because the dude that had it at the time was another OG. And I know this man from my prior term that I had did, so I felt kind of bad having to step him down, but it's his business, and so I go and get at the homie, pull him to the side, and he didn't give me no problems or nothing like that. I could tell he was a little down about it, but I still kept him around helping me out. Basically from there I stripped down pretty much his whole mess that he had right there and set up my whole mess. Everybody I wanted on the team, and all people that I know and been thugging with, for the last few years and doing time with. And I had it good right there. That's all. Let me rewind a little bit. When I left, the homie had gave me on DLs. He also plugged me in with the PO box, where all the hot.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Well, everybody knows. Well, if you don't know, but you've been in the system before, then you know that, Chino, Eastside 5 months, that was headquarters, and around that time, I don't know, I don't believe it is that to this day, but around that time it was. And, that was Booty and Toros, and, so basically, I started expanding my assets, my options, start doing a little bit for this homie, for that homie, By Sluggo doing that for me though, he kind of plugged me in with them dudes too, at the same time, because now all this money that I'm making right here on this yard, is going to that hot PO box, you know what I'm saying? And, they know I'm right there in position. So, kind of, it just adds to my resume basically. um, trip out. So I'm there for about 6 months, and I'm doing a 12-month violation. Back then, we should get a year flat. So I'm right there on a year violation, and I'm there about 6 months. Everything's been going smooth, sending shit to the bag, doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. Everything's been running smooth, making money. Out of nowhere, I remember I ended up getting this wheeler on some dudes that got kicked out of Cyprus, and like back then, I remember Cyprus and Chino used to be like whole overflow. Like basically, it'd be like people are active, and like people are S and Y right there as well. And there was this one particular dude that sent a kite out. One of the homies coming back to the yard. I guess this dude was back there acting like he was active still, and basically telling everybody this dude was basically back there sending wheelers out with homies that are getting kicked out of the hole to the yaveros that are on the yards in Central East Yard to disregard duty and todos banderas and to reroute everything going to the East Side Padma, Cyprus, and send it to him. Basically, he's trying to disregard the homies that got it and trying to tell us to send him everything. So, me, I mean, I'm young at the time, but I'm not stupid, I'm on my game, and I know this dude's full of shit, you know what I'm saying? And before I even do anything, I know I'm going to check in with my boys that gave me my DL and, see if this is even legit or not before I send them to do anything. So I report to only one person, and that's the people that send me out here. So I know there was a lot of homies that were getting hurt, though, over this particular person because they were actually started sending trains to the back, and they were literally sending this dude dope. The dude sitting in the back, SNY, collecting dope from the main line, basically. And the homies that were doing it, I ended up getting plugged for that because, they're basically complying with this perpetrator, basically, And, well, what I'm trying to say is that, I don't comply with dude. At the time, I started sending homies to the back, you know what I mean, with word and a copy of this dude's one time, showing them like what this dude's saying to the people that have the yards, and basically inquiring about it, if he's legit or not, and what to do about it, So, I keep track of everything. Well, everybody that I've been sending back, they're getting snatched up and they're taking them to Cyprus. So they're never actually making it to Palm Hall where the homies are at. So none of my trains, the homies I'm sending back there, when I say train, I mean like homies that I send on a victim to go to the hole, basically, and deliver these things. So none of my stuff is touching down. So the homies in Palmas are thinking that I'm complying with this dude, Güero, that's the perpetrator. So they think I'm doing this. Well, they start, probably about a month goes by. Now they're sending homies out from the hole, getting at me like, dude. Now they're recalling me to the hole. Basically, they want me to go back there personally and report to them. So it gets crazy from here. So yeah, so now they want me to go report. Now I know none of my stuff is touching down because they're either potty watching all the homies and they're getting snatched up with my wheelers, or they're going to Cyprus and nothing's touching down to where it needs to go to. So at this point, I'm like, my hands are up, like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go report and straighten this out real quick. Well, the best thing I could think of to do, since they're snatching up the aggressors, and I didn't want to victimize anybody because at the moment there was no one there to even do that to. I'm not gonna hurt just some random homie, that was one thing that I was never into. Like, I didn't like hurting homies unless you had that coming. Then you got that coming. And another thing, I never did anything or I never asked anybody to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. So when the time came, I basically volunteered myself as a volunteer victim. Um, basically, I'm gonna go back there as a victim. I'm just gonna have two homies. You know, I planned it all out. I had two homies rush me on the day room and take me to the back, basically as a victim. And hopefully, since I'm the victim, not put me on potty watch, and I don't get caught up with all this shit that I got on me. And I got about 3-4 plugs full of white, black, I'm talking about everything you could think of, any kind of drug you could think of. I got it. I got all these hot wheelers. I got wheelers that this dude Weddle sitting out there, the perpetrator. Basically everything backing up what I've been doing is going back there with me. So I got all this hot shit with me. I got it hooped, and I'm hoping that they're not going to put me on potty wash. So the day comes when all this is supposed to go down, and everything goes as planned. We get into it, whatever, and basically, honestly, they didn't even know who the victim was. Like, I had to literally let these fools whoop my ass, basically. So, at first I was fighting back, but then at the end I was like, dude, I gotta let them do this. So I finally just let them get on me, and hopefully it looked good. Well, long story short, we ended up right here in the cages, and as soon as they brought out the white jumpsuits and the duct tape, man, I knew I was going on potty watch. They put all three of us on potty watch. And don't forget, we just got sprayed up. I think I got literally pepper spray all over my body, and they didn't even let me rinse off anything. They immediately put that jumpsuit on me backwards, duct tape my arms, my legs, and threw me in a stand-up cage. And well, back then, I think it was you got to get on 3 hits. Like, you got to shit for them in a bag. They're gonna go through it.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Yeah, the sergeant will come on and sign off on it that it was clean. And once you give them, then from there, then they'll take you to the hole and process you and all that. So, basically the homies are trying to thug it out with me. They don't want to go back there, obviously, and they're trying to ride this out with me. I ended up telling them just go ahead and for them and go back there and don't worry about it. I'll take care of it when I get back there. So, I'm standing there for about 2 days, dude. Literally, I got this pepper spray. The first day, it should kill me. By the second day, I was so like absorbing, dude. It was like, I can't even explain that feeling, man. It's just the most uncomfortable shit ever. Been standing up for 2 days straight. And, yeah, basically, I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, I'm just on a violation. I get caught up with this shit. Not only am I stuck with the homies, like, I get caught up with this, like, I'm going to get in trouble for this, and I'm going to have to answer to it. So not only that, I'm going to end up with a new case, a new charge. So I'm trying to get out of this any which way I can. And thank God, dude. There was this one CO that used to work there. She was real cool with me. And basically, she shows up, I think, first watch. And that's like the watch from 10 to 6 in the morning. So she's there in the middle of the night with me. And they have her watching me, right? So this girl comes up to the cage and she tells me, she's like, good morning. Like, I know her from the yard, and I'm like, man, what are you doing? Like, I know you got something on you. And she was like, look, if you want to get through this, she's like, you better do this right now while it's my shift. Go it 3 times, and we'll get you to the hole and get you out of here before the next shift comes on. And I kind of looked at her like, what? Like, are you serious? And she was like, man, it's up to you. You know what I mean? She's like, I'm going to be here. You got 6 hours. So for like the first hour, I was like, I'm good. Like, I didn't trust her at all. I was like, dude, I'm going to do this and this lady's gonna, she's gonna get me caught up. She's gonna report it right away. Like, why would she do this with me? I don't know. Something told me to trust this lady. I mean, what other choice I really got? You know what I'm saying? Like, they're gonna eventually get it. Eventually, I'm gonna have to. It's been 2 days already. Ain't no way I'm gonna get through this. There's no way around it, literally. So this is literally like my only option is to trust this girl and hope she does what she says she's gonna do for me. And well,
You have 60 seconds remaining.
she basically ended up coming through for me. She went handcuffed me, let me sit some shit in the bag and push back up what I had on me, and I did that 3 times, and yeah, I ended up getting kicked out. Sergeant came and they took me to Eastside Baltimore. So yeah, I got through that. I don't know how that happened, or thought it was a gift from God. I don't know what it was, but somebody was looking out for me that day. I got back there and I had everything on me that I needed. You know, yeah, so I took down. And I remember I first get there and I'm on the bottom tier, you gotta announce your arrival and all that when you first pull up. I'll continue this right now. Okay, so I pull up and here I am in Eastside Baltimore again. And I gotta announce my arrival when I get there. So, I get there and I'm glad. Honestly, I'm just, I'm relieved that, I just got out of this situation that I was in, because that shit right there, man, that was the first time I actually ever been on potty watch. And man, you trust me, if you ain't never been through that, you do not want to go through that shit, especially after being pepper sprayed. So, think about it. Yeah, so I'm there now, and relieved that I actually got away with that, and I'm here now to explain myself. So I get there, I announce my arrival, and at first none of the homies were even talking to me because they don't know what's going on with me. They don't know if I rolled it up, or they don't know what's going on at this point, because none of my trains I was sitting back there were touching down, so they had no idea what's going on with me. So, I get there and the homie ended up getting at me in the vent, and it so happens that Slug was in my vent, so I was actually able to talk to the homie, and I just told him, look, hold up, I got everything right here. I don't even need to explain myself. I'm just gonna slide you all this, and you let me know what's gonna happen from there. You know what I'm saying? But I got everything here to explain myself. I got proof of everything. I documented everything I did. So, you let me know. So they're like, all right, cool, shoot it. So, homeboy shoots his line. Someone calls me from downstairs, find me his line, whatever. I hook up, tie on all the plugs I got, and take off. Maybe like 45 minutes goes by, and next thing you know, now all the homies are getting at me on the pier, standing there and say what's up. It was out, people that I know from the yard or from other prisons, Like, I pretty much know all the main people back there, So now everybody's cool with me because they know that everything was legit. So, obviously they opened up all the wheelers and went through everything. They see that all the names of trains I sent back. Basically they verified everything and everything checked out. So, plus they were happy that I brought back, mind you, I took back my own personal shit, to bless them with, because we're back there in the hole. So they were for sure happy about that. I know that for a fact. And next thing you know, I'm getting a wheeler after the homie, and basically telling me that it's all good, that there was just this perpetrator that was doing basically everything I ran down to you with this dude that was in Cyprus, and they had already took care of the issue, and they're basically just telling me, Spencer, that since I was the victim, that they're gonna kick me back out to the yard once I go to committee, and when they do, to just resume my position. If I land on East Yard, resume my position. If I land in Central, they said to not take over, but there was a certain person that they had on the team. They said to just let him know that they said to make me his right hand man, or to help him out with whatever he needed help with, So basically I was all good. I cleared my name, cleared the homies, and yeah, everything was good. I was happy, as far as all that went. And I think around this time I probably got about maybe 4 or 5 months to the house. So I'm still waiting to get transferred. And I'm waiting a long ass time, so I'm waiting to go to a 180. I remember I was up for New Delano, or for a matter of fact, right here where I'm at right now, it's actually 180. So I was waiting to go to either one of these prisons. And well, I remember that same night, that shit was weird. That same night, I remember the cops came and pulled me up. They cuffed me up and they told me they were taking me to Deep Save, which is on the other side of East Side. Now you're on West Side Baltimore, and you're in the dungeon. These are like single man cells. You know what I'm saying? Like people that are already on SNY on this side, or you know what I'm saying? Like they're keepaways. Basically, and you really don't have no kind of communication with nobody right there. Because all like locked off from the tiers. I can't even explain it. Like the best way I could explain it is like you're down there in the dungeon by yourself, like secluded the tiers. You know what I'm saying? So like it was really like no way for me to get at the homies until they actually ran yard, and I had to hope that I see them in a cage or get at one of these COs on the tier, saying word over there that they put me over here for some reason. And anyways, it was a trip because that same night I ended up catching my bag to fucking to transfer it to New Delano. Oh man, it was crazy. I didn't even get a chance to explain to the homies, or they don't even know where I went. Basically,
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And yeah, next thing you know, I'm on the bus the next morning, and I'm out to New Delano. So basically, I just kept my DLs that they gave me that I left with, and the thing I ended up going with one of the homies that I knew from East Yard. He rode with me once to the same prison. So when we pulled up, they actually threw us in the hole because they didn't have any room on the yard, or something was going on. I don't know why, but they threw us in the hole for some reason right when we got there. And I right away explained my situation and everything. So I got 4 months to the house. I'm not even tripping. At this time it's like, whatever it is, what it is. I'm gonna thug this out and just get out of here. I got 4 months to go. So yeah, I land on this is my first 180. I land right there in North Current, New Delano. I land on B Yard, and the yards the setup's completely different. From 270, and at that time that yard was cracking too. So I kind of pulled up into a bunch of drama that was already going on that yard. So I was just trying to stay out the way from there so I could just get out. I'm not even doing no more time. I'm trying to go home now. So, I stayed there just 4 months, did my thing. I ended up prolonging. So, I remember I ended up prolonging from right there. Yeah, my family came and they picked me up, and we were staying. Oh, we staying at this time. Oh, okay. We're staying in Norwalk actually. That's when there's a spot called the Manor. It's right there in Norwalk too. And the Manor is right next to the YA, and kind of like a neutral zone. Like they really ain't no barrios right there. Like Guatemala is like a couple blocks away, and then my barrio was like right next to that. But basically nobody has anything going on in the Manor at the time. And I remember my mom was renting this room right there from one of her old friends, and yeah, when I got there, I was tripping out on that spot where I was at because I remember being a lot of blacks right there, and like I end up like the first 2-3 days I was there, I'm bumping into fools from different hoods, from Vicky's Town, from what else? Some night crawlers, like fools from all over the place, like just riffraff people, staying in the Manor. And well, now that I had got out and I had, the contacts that I have, I right away check in with the homies, and I'm trying to get put back on. ASAP. I just got out. I'm trying to get back in the game, make some money. So uh, I'm out here now, and I hooked back up with the homie's right hand man, and I started telling him about the manor. You know what I'm saying? And there's people in here that's selling dope. I know these fools ain't paying rent. There's blacks up in here, and they really that shit was tripping me out the most because back then, I should be a real racist person back then. I'm not anymore, but back then, like, as far as like the reason why I used to have that hate towards like my race because of the shit that I've been through in prison, in here with them, led to the way I feel about people on the streets. So, it was bothering me a lot that are living in it and selling dope. You know what I'm saying? So, especially so close to my hood, you know. So I bring all this up to the homie, and he basically gave me the green light to sew it up right there, shut all down and set up shop right here. So, I'm pretty happy about this. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? I just got out, and homie gave me this opportunity to start setting this shit up right here where I'm at in this new spot. So, first things first. You know what I mean? What I really did is I started having the homies come over a lot. We start, we're getting at everybody that's there, trying to find out who's who's doing what. You know what I'm saying? Certain things down. If you weren't paying taxes to our big homies, you're done. You know what I'm saying? Or you're gonna start paying. 90% of the people, they agreed to kick in every month, so it really wasn't a problem. There was only a couple of issues with certain people that didn't want to kick in or cooperate, So, yeah, like basically we took over that manor. From the time I was out there, I think within a matter of a month, we we had that shit sold up out there. But at the time, I think I'm only out 2 months. So that month I was out, going back and forth to my audio, I ended up picking up I ended up getting pulled over. I had a gun in the car, so basically I got a parole violation off top, and then now I'm fighting this gun case. So now I'm back in the system. You know what I mean? Everything I had going on right there, because I ain't out there operating no more. So the homies that I did have on the team, they tried to stretch it out as long as they could, but it just wasn't the same. So basically, they couldn't keep it going. So yeah, I ended up getting another year violation. So here I go again, back to Chino. Immediately when I get there, what I'm saying, they put me on the mess side. You know what I mean? And I'm right back to basically not my same position, but I was there doing things with a homie, and yeah, I ended up staying there pretty much my whole violation. But I remember while I was there though, big ass well, it wasn't a big ass riot, but in the middle of on East Yard, you have like two wings. There's like two halls, and
you have 60 seconds remaining.
Back to back, and then in the middle of that, right in front of the Hold Up bubble, where the CEOs post up at, there's a little dorm right there, and it's open, like a maybe 30-man dorm, I would say. That was the issue just having with the black right there. Basically, the dude was trying to push the weight around. You know what I mean? I started catching wind there to put the home. So yeah, we ain't gonna let that fly, So the homie that I had helping me out, the table, I focused like, look, bro, we get at this school. And if he says anything, bro, or doesn't agree with what I'm saying, I'm sliding. So, the day comes when I go to
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.